Forests are home to over half of biodiversity, and we are still discovering new species every day. They are an opportunity where man can search new tribes. They provide with wood for heating. They are home to 20 million species of animals which can hunt for food. They are the dwelling place of some human tribes. It's hard to imagine Earth without forests. But worldwide, nearly 50% of the original forests are gone. With the help of NASA satellite photos, we can see there are few signs of slowing. But with the world growing at a pace hard to match, the increasing need for space is turning out to be an area of concern. With desperate need for land for agriculture, industrial, and most importantly, urban needs to contain cities and their growing population, a direct action that we have come to recognize is deforestation.
According to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the main cause of deforestation is agriculture. Subsistence farming is responsible for 48% of deforestation, commercial agriculture for 32%, logging for 14%, and fuel wood removal makes up 5% of deforestation. Cattle ranching is another cause of deforestation. Cattle ranches clear forests to make room for grazing cattle. Another cause of deforestation is mining. Tropical forests are the location for deposit. Urbanization also causes deforestation. Urbanization requires land to build. Instead of knocking down buildings, many companies choose to tear down trees and natural resources.
Hydroelectric dams also contribute to deforestation. Damming opponents believe that the building of such structures not only have a negative impact, but it also opens up the area to loggers and more roads. To build a hydroelectric dam, acres of land must be flooded. Fires, both accidental and intended, destroy acres of forest very quickly. Areas affected by logging are more susceptible to fires due to number of dried dead trees. Milder winter and an extended warm season due to global warming also fuel fires. Wood-based industries like paper, matchstick, furniture, etc. also need a sustainable amount of wood supply. Wood is used as fuel both directly and indirectly. Firewood and charcoal are examples of wood being used as fuel.
Deforestation affects the climate. Trees release water vapor in the air, which is compromised on with lack of trees. Trees also provide the required shade that keeps the soil moist. This leads to the imbalance in the atmospheric temperature, further making conditions for the ecology difficult. Due to massive felling down of trees, various species of animals are lost. They lose their habitat and are forced to move to new location. Some of them are even pushed to extinction. Our world has lost so many species of plants and animals in last couple of decades. Also, the trees utilize the greenhouse gases, restoring the balance in the atmosphere. With constant deforestation, the ratio of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has increased, adding to global warming. When the trees are cut down, the flow of water is also disrupted and leads to floods in some areas and drought in others.
Deforestation has many negative effects on the environment. The most dramatic impact is the loss of habitat for millions of species. 70% of Earth's land animals and plants live in forests, and many cannot survive the deforestation that destroys their homes. All around the world, the rate of deforestation is at its peak. Brazil has the highest deforestation rate in the world and in 2005 still had the largest area of forest removed annually. In 2012, the Amazon was approximately 5.4 million square kilometers, which is only 87% of the Amazon's original state. There are several more countries with huge rate of deforestation, which includes Indonesia, followed by Nigeria, Russia, Mexico, Papua New Guinea, Peru, USA, Sudan, and the list continues. Whereas, on the contrary, Norway is the first country to ban deforestation and is aiming to be the first country with no deforestation soon.
Running across the northern tip of South America is the world's second largest river, the Amazon, whose river basin composes the majority of Amazon rainforest, the world's largest tropical rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is referred to as the lung of the planet because it produces more than 20% of the world's oxygen. It is also the source of 20% of all the free-flowing fresh water on the planet. Tropical deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon threatens to wipe out the most biologically diverse ecosystems on Earth, replacing them with a degraded pasture. There are a number of complicated interacting factors leading to rapid destruction of tropical forests, most of which are underscored by the economic value of different land use options. Over the last few decades, farming and cattle have resulted in the greatest monetary return from using tropical land. Almost half the world's topsoil has been lost to erosion, and according to data provided by the Rainforest Conservation Fund, deforestation is a direct cause of the erosion happening in Amazon rainforests. Once plant cover is gone, there are no roots to hold the soil in place during heavy tropical rains, which then wash away the topsoil and the nutrients necessary to regenerate future vegetation. In fact, the Amazon produces half its own rainfall through the moisture it releases into the atmosphere, eliminate enough of that rain through clearing, and the remaining trees dry out and die. When desiccation is worsened by global warming, severe droughts raise the specter of wildfires that could ravage the forest. Indonesia, officially the Republic of Indonesia, is a country in Southeast Asia. It is situated between the Indian and Pacific Ocean, and it is the largest island country with more than 13,000 islands. It has an estimated population of over 258 million people and is the world's fourth most populous country. Indonesia's size, tropical climate, and archipelagic geography support the world's second highest level of biodiversity after Brazil. Its flora and fauna is a mixture of Asian and Australasian species. As late as 19th century, Indonesia was still a densely forested country with the total forest representing 84% of the total land area. In the early 1970s, Indonesia used this valuable resource to its economic benefit with the development of the country's wood processing industries. This led to deforestation in Indonesia on large scale. Deforestation and destruction of peatlands made Indonesia the world's third largest emitter of greenhouse gases. Conversion of forests for palm oil production now appears to be the single largest driver of deforestation in Indonesia, accounting for roughly a quarter of forest loss between 2009 and 2011. The review from the Global Conservation Organization Climate Change in Indonesia Implication for Human and Nature highlights that the annual rainfall in the world's fourth most populous nation, that is Indonesia, is already down by 2 to 3% and the seasons are changing.
So, my first question to you is, how will you define deforestation and what are the major reasons behind it?
Okay, deforestation is the reckless cutting of trees with no intention of establishing a future stand of trees. Its major cause is that it can satisfy human needs. For example, Wood is considered to be a natural energy source and it has been used for years to provide heat. Also, wood is a valuable raw material in construction or manufacturing. However, forests are often cleared because people want to use the area for different purposes. This is seen in all types of forests and all over the world. Another reason is to make room for agriculture. Whether the farming is by individuals who wish to grow only enough food for their own use or performed commercially, agriculture is often cited as the leading cause of deforestation. Cattle ranching is another cause of deforestation. Another cause of deforestation is mining. Forests are the locations of many deposits of minerals and metals, including diamonds, oils, aluminium, and gold. The forests are removed to extract these materials from the ground. Dams that are constructed for hydroelectric power plants are another reason for deforestation. So, these are the major reasons for it.
Exact timing.
So, is it our need or greed behind deforestation?
I would like if Sir answers this question.
Well, you know this yourself. People are becoming greedy each day and they are not even concerned about their future and future generations. In the beginning, it was their need to cut the trees, and that's fine. But gradually, as I saw it in plenty amount, this need turned into greed, and the consequence is before you. The people think greatly, but do just a little of it, and thus fail in its execution. A much more strictness is needed by us, as well as by government and the other authorities, and this can surely bring the change.
Well, that's not hard to describe. It will really be horrible. I mean, yes, they are the home to many different and unique species of plants and animals. One of the consequences of deforestation is the loss of biodiversity. Many species within a forest ecosystem are specialized to that habitat. When their habitat is lost, it can lead to their extinction. This can have a negative cascading effect on other species in the area.
People cut those big logs and carry those dead ones. They don't know that they are the doers and they'll only suffer later. The world is too large, right? It's massive, but not big enough that it can lessen the loss which is gradually taking place now. You know, the major problem is the people. They try to run out from the situation and leave it as it is and never take initiative very often and just wait for others to begin and follow them. This is really the bad face of humanity, that instead of taking too much from trees and plants, they never think of paying back. When forests are cut down, another consequence that results in the emission of greenhouse gas. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas, from the atmosphere and turn it into energy. When trees are cut down, the stored CO2 is released back into the atmosphere. The presence of atmospheric greenhouse gases is thought to contribute to the warming of the Earth's surface.
Also, the cycle which continues and brings rain would stop, which will lead to drying and degradation of land and will turn it into a barren one which is no more useful. The underground water level will gradually deplete and soon we will lose water too. So, let the land be useful of trees and let water find a place to percolate through. A situation will arise when people will start dying due to lack of oxygen. To enforce successful reforestation, it is necessary to bring all the stakeholders on board, including the local authorities, locals, and other environment conscious organizations. When all the stakeholders are on board, the locals can be educated concerning the importance of forests and that can be reinforced by necessary legislation. If this is not done, just planting trees alone may not stop the vicious cycle. Support by whole of the society is required and everybody's contribution is necessary to overcome this problem. Every single head has to take an initiative, that is, to repay what they have taken from the nature. The day when everyone does so, definitely the world will be a better place, surely.
Yes, as it is rightly said, that there is enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. And people even know it, but they don't actually mean it. Right? Instead, they worsen the situation because they are happy that someone else is actually covering up for their activities, and so they are least bothered about their deeds and its consequence.
The best solution to this is that more and more people must be engaged in eradicating this problem. Reforestation must be done.
Forest, one of the most valuable resources found on the surface of Earth. They provide us with oxygen, they provide us with food and many other things. They are the home for the various types of fauna which are found on the surface of Earth. They are the primary producers which produce food for all the living organisms. They are very important in supplying oxygen and maintaining the ecological balance on the surface of Earth. But it's we human beings who are destroying, who are destructing the forest day by day. We, in order to satisfy our greeds, in order to satisfy our needs, are destroying the forest area, and a large area of forest is being destructed day by day. For all developmental projects, for all types of development which the human beings are doing, they are destroying the forest area. A large area of forest is being destructed by mining activity. A large area is destructed for the construction of dams, bridges and various other things, and it is human greeds which are leading to these destruction, and it is threatening the flora as well as the fauna which is found on the earth, and which is leading to various of the problems like ozone layer depletion, like the global warming and various other things. So it is we human beings who are the root cause. Then what should we do? We should not destroy these forest area, we should conserve, we should preserve, and it is very important for us to do so. If we don't, the future will be suffering, the humanity will be suffering, the wildlife will be suffering, and like today, many of the species of flora and fauna is extinct. Tomorrow, we all will be extinct. Thank you.
এইটো প্ৰস্তুত কৰে এইটো যে 550 হেক্টৰ যে আছে বুলি কৈছোঁ এইটো গছ গছনিয়ে পৰিপূৰ্ণ এইবিলাক সেইকাৰণে আপুনি কৰিছে মই কৰিছোঁ এতিয়া মানে আগত যদি অলপমান দেৰিতে লৈছিল এতিয়া ফটাফট কৰিব পৰা ব্যৱস্থাটো আছে ইয়াত যিটো গুটি সংগটো ইয়াৰ পৰাই ল'ব পাৰি
Deforestation and animals are interconnected to each other. Since we know that animals need their own habitat to develop, grow, and prosper, but we need more space to expand our surroundings, our homes, our malls. We day by day get into their habitats, we get into their forest and occupy their space. So this makes those animals to lose their space and flourish. And then day by day they're suffering. The population is decreasing. As they come and enter our habitat, we start having a problem and we start killing them. So both the facts are interconnected to each other. We need to understand that when we are cutting down trees, we need to grow them simultaneously so that the balance of the ecosystem is maintained always. Thank you.
Deforestation, you don't need to live in the middle of rainforest to do your part in preventing deforestation. So there are a few suggestions to preserve the amount of forest located in the rest of the world. First, using recycled goods. Household items such as tissue paper, books and shopping bags can easily be made from recycled material, which eliminates the need to go back to the forest and cut more trees in search of raw material. Check the items which are made from recycled paper and save that tree. Second, taking care of existing trees. Make sure that you allow the younger trees to grow up to maturity. Even when there is a legitimate reason and you need to cut down a tree, then choose the mature one and remember to replace it. Third, farming practices. Those who plant crop at a farm can participate in putting a dent in deforestation by rotating crops. It is suggested to replace the habit of using different portions of land each year with using the same portion of land to plant different crops. This practice has proven effective in maintaining soil fertility. Farmers may also embrace other options such as high-yield hybrid crops, hydroponics, which relies on a method of growing plants using minerals, nutrients, solutions instead of soil. Fourth, cut back on palm oil. In Malaysia and Indonesia, an increasing amount of trees are cut down in order to generate the palm oil used in production of some breads, chocolates and shampoos. As a result, the native orangutans are losing their habitats. So, you can spread awareness and limit your consumption on products containing this type of oil. Fifth, using of coal. As the chill of winter takes over the autumn season, try using coal instead of firewood in your fireplace. While it only takes a couple of hours to consume a few logs here and there, keep in mind that it takes years for one tree to fully grow. Sixth, reforestation. Take a page from People's Republic of China, where the government has in the past set a requirement that every able-bodied citizen between the age of 11 and 16 is responsible for planting 3 to 5 trees per year or complete an equal amount of work in other areas of forestry. Since 1982, the government claims that at least 1 billion trees have been planted in China as a result of the program.
Trees are depleting at a rapid rate. Life without trees is unimaginable and impossible. They are the recyclers of air on the surface. Without them, many species of animals and other organisms would perish. Even humans will be threatened with survival in their absence. Trees are a part of our ecosystem and our environment. In no which way is life on Earth possible without them. We cannot let deforestation continue anymore, and so we have worked for it. Quality of life requires that we protect them, and so we celebrate World Forest Day each year on 21st March. The International Day of Forests was established on the 21st day of March, a resolution of the United Nations General